All right, Rob. We talked about it in the first hour. The NBA All-Star Game. No other way to describe it but as a debacle.
Right.
A lot of, the commissioner, Rob. Did you hear? I don't know if you were watching at this point, but at the end of the game when he presented, of course, the MVP award to Damian Lillard, the trophy to the Eastern Conference team, do we have sound of that? But Adam Silver was just saying, hey, you scored the most points. Well, congratulations. That was basically what it was. And he had tried, he had talked all week about, this is going to be a better All-Star game and guys are going to take it seriously and compete. And that did not happen. The score was 211 to 183. First time ever that an NBA team, Rob, scored 200 points in a game. And they went well over 200. It was 211-186, my bad. So that's how it was, Rob. And here's what I want to throw out to you, because people are asking this. Do you blame Adam Silver more, or do you blame the players more?
This is a Adam Silver problem. I think Adam Silver is by far the worst commissioner currently in sports.
Wow.
And Adam Silver, Chris, went exact opposite. I was a critic of David Stearns on some stuff, okay? I was. Where I thought he stepped over the boundaries, over the line, especially with the dress code. Like seriously, the dress code bothered me, like really.
And that kind of began fading as
Right, but that's where I thought he overstepped his boundaries. He also changed the basketball without talking to the players. There was stuff like that where I thought he was out of bounds, Chris. But Adam Silver went the exact opposite, where he gave in and was going to be the commissioner of the players. And you know who pays him? The owners.
Right.
And I thought it's bitten him in the butt. Because they've taken, they say you give a guy an inch, he'll take a foot. The players have taken 3 feet, Chris, away from Adam Silver. And what I mean is, forget about just him talking up, this is going to be competitive and this could be fun and all this stuff and not happening. But we've seen this marquee game after marquee game where these guys don't play. We've talked about it on this very radio show, Chris, where we're ready for a game and a matchup, right? We're going to watch as soon as we get off the air.
Yep.
And we don't get it because there's some guy not playing. Adam Silver's not playing. I get it. But I don't believe that the commissioner has set the right parameters to let guys know that this is not good for the health of the league. It ain't just about you. And I know the NFL always pushed this out there, Chris. Protect the shield. Adam Silver has not protected the NBA. He hasn't. He's let the fans down. He's disappointed the TV networks. This is not your dad's NBA. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Old Man and, hey, you kids, get off my lawn. And things change. I'm player empowerment and all that. But you can't let players damage the long-term health of the league. And after that All-Star game, Chris, you might have lost some people who were on the fence, who are just like, this NBA, I can't get with this. What was that? When we don't have competition, somebody called and said it earlier, Chris. It's the WWE. Is that what we're going with the NBA? When we're watching fake games? Go out there and fake it.
Whenever you, and particularly your marquee game, or, it's your midseason classic, if you will, gets compared to the WWE, you're in trouble.
Chris, I
You're
think
in trouble.
So that's where I'm at. I want to hear your take, but
Yeah.
I Adam Silver, Chris, has been too lenient, and I'm not saying I want a return of David Stern, but this has gone amok.
Look, in speaking about David Stern, I think he was the best. I think he's been the best sports commissioner in modern sports history in America. Like, he had obstacles facing him when he took over. It was a primarily African-American league. It was a clear third behind baseball and football. And obviously what he did, his genius, Rob, was marketing individuals rather than the teams, And so it got to a point where every team had an individual, even if the team wasn't that good. They had somebody you wanted to go see because they marketed it that way. And obviously, Michael Jordan enters the league, and he, cable television, Rob, is starting around the mid 80s. So there were a lot of things that came together for Stern, but he put it all together.
I was going to say, right. He did have a lot of things that definitely.
Yeah, but he also had, as you know, the reputation about the league being drug infested and too black and all that stuff. He had to manage that stuff. I thought he did a great job. And like you said, he definitely had his flaws. But overall, I thought he was great. And yeah, I mean, Rob, I think the load management Greg Popovich started it in the San Antonio Spurs.
No doubt.
And it has gotten out of control. There's no other way to describe it except it is madly out of control. And I don't think it gets there under David Stern. I don't think it gets to this point under him. And the All-Star game, Rob, look, let's be fair. All of the games they're not what they used to be. Whether it's football, which obviously has just disbanded its game and turned it into flag, and understandably so, but that game was a real joke. That was by far the worst. Baseball may still be
it's still
best,
the closest to the real game that you watch.
Good to me. I mean, you got guys playing one inning. It's just
but the difference is they're not like throwing the ball underhand and let them hit it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think some of that's the nature of the sport. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. I mean, you're gonna go up there and hit. If I'm a pitch,
right? That's what I'm saying.
Pitch,
right? You're not.
I'm gonna field the ball. Like, it doesn't lend itself to just complete lollygagging unless they were gonna play softball. And so, but none of them are really good anymore. I always liked the NBA one the best, but it really has, fallen apart. And I do think, I think Adam means well in trying to be a player's commissioner, Rob. But I do think there are times you are going to have to put your foot down. And I think he needs to get with the Players Association. And because I think the Players Association is bothered by it as well, Rob. Joe Dumars, who is a Hall of Fame player, he sees what's going on. He's not happy with it. Larry Bird, who was a player, not happy with it. Andre Iguodala, they tried to get him, to help the players compete. And Rob, some of it's the branding now, right? These guys make so much money, and they should. For all those that are going to complain about how much money they get, they're getting roughly half of what the league generates.
That I don't have a problem with.
Right. I know you don't.
You know I don't. I don't.
So they're getting the money they deserve, but it's so huge now, Rob. And then there's such big stars and the marketing and the endorsements. I mean, the NBA still has the biggest stars, the most recognized stars, the most recognizable stars, the ones with the biggest marketing deals and the most marketing deals and commercials, that it's just, I don't know if they are ever, I don't know what can be done to get this thing to be competitive. So I don't fully blame Adam Silver. I think it's some on him, some on the players, some on just the day and age we live in, Rob. They got social media followings. They don't, you listen to, I listened to and watched a lot of the stuff before the game last night. And they talked about how the players back in the day, first in the 60s, where they fought, they threatened to boycott the game in 1964 because they weren't getting their fair share of money and treatment the way, from the owners. So they started getting that. And then, Rob, in the 80s, Isaiah and Magic, they consciously were like, look, we need to put on a show in the All-Star game to help the league grow.
Right. It's a showcase. It's a showcase.
Yes, they had those obstacles that they don't have today. But maybe this is what I think, Rob, Adam Silver needs to do, is he needs to get with the Players Association and they need to get the word to these players, as we said earlier, look, like they say in the NFL, protect the shield. He's got to be like, we have to protect the league. And guys, we're in a negotiation with TV
right now
companies, and they're not trying to. Guys aren't playing in key games that are televised. The All-Star game is becoming downright embarrassing.
Chris, the president of TNT said TNT can survive without the NBA. Is that what you want to hear?
That is not what you want to hear. That is not what you want to hear.
He said it on the record.
And I just think, Rob, that's what has to happen. They need to talk to the players about this because, and maybe even, some of I don't know if the players, if LeBron and some of the other elder statesmen, Chris Paul, spoke up. I don't know if that would matter, but maybe they need to try to help too, because it's just gotten ridiculous.